Testing, 1, 2, 1, 2. Welcome on in to House Culture Conversations. I see everybody getting organized in the chat, whether you're on Twitch, YouTube, or on Facebook. We appreciate you. And let's see here. We are going to get our main event started. I'm super excited, y'all. And you can't see my face yet, I know. I'm getting it together. I'm getting it together. Oh my goodness. I hope the week has been good. It is the weekend, and I get a chance to spend some time with none other than Disco Darrin. How's everybody doing? Let's bring him to the stage. Disco, what's good? Unmute yourself. I think you muted.
Now you got me.
Yes, we got you. Welcome on in.
Now we can hear something. Yeah, buddy. Good afternoon, good evening, everybody.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. That's my jam, Chef Dirty Rice, the Candy Lady. And if we haven't seen you in the chat and you coming on in, hey, welcome on in. We appreciate you so much. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. Just getting off work, man. You know how that is. Just getting off work. Gotta work.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You got to pay for stuff.
Gotta pay for stuff. Gotta live.
Got to live. I appreciate you. Now, we had a time back in March,
Right.
and we caught up on a lot of different things, and we left some things on the table that we had to come back around. So it's the return of
Exactly.
disco. It's the return of disco.
Right. Right.
So here
Exactly.
we are, and I think one of the biggest things we need to clarify is this Catholic school, Chicago Catholic League, and get that all squared away. And for all the listeners, both Disco and I went to Catholic schools in the Chicagoland area. I went to Mendel. He went to Mount Carmel. We were brother schools, and we just had friendly rivalries.
Right. We did. We did.
And I think Disco would say it wasn't really a rivalry because it have to be competition. However, I want to make it clear: Mendel Catholic, we have definitely put our marks on the board. Whether that's in the Chicago Prep Bowl in the '80s basketball and a few other things.
Right.
But upon further research, I must say Mount Carmel in football, 15 state championships, and so I give you the football play, and
I got
I'll
two
let.
rings to prove it. I got two state championship rings to prove. I should go get them and put them on. Do like this. I should go get them and put them on. Oh man.
So I will give you that, but nonetheless, we partied hard at the Mendel Gymnasium.
Oh man. Yes, we did.
Yes,
Yes, we did.
indeed. And that partying was part and parcel to why we're even here tonight to talk about house music, house culture. I also want to talk a little bit about Chicago. When we talked last time, we were talking about the origin stories, and we had this brief conversation, but it really cut through some noise.
Right.
And I
Right.
wasn't finished talking about that, quite frankly. And
Right.
so I wanted to open up talking about Ron Hardy.
Right.
And from the conversation that we had, I took it that in your heart of hearts, you truly feel Ron doesn't get his flowers and doesn't get his just due. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about that, taking nothing away from anybody else, Frankie, anybody else, but Ron was there in the early days. And if we talk about the den or we talk about the music box,
Hmm.
that's where he started. That's where it all started. So I'll
That's
yield
right.
the floor for you
Exactly.
to stretch out on that a little bit.
Well, Ron, I told you before, I met Ron in 81. We were just getting into high school, 81, 82, just getting into high school. And my buddy was like, hey, let's go. This guy Uh, he mixes. I'm like, who is this dude? I don't know him. That's when a Hot Mix 5 had just came out. So we go over to his house, and there's this guy in the garage that my buddy knew, Kurt and OJ, who went to school with me. Man, this is Ron. I'm like, okay, what's up, Ron? He said, hey, man, you like house music? I said, yeah, I do. He was playing not with turntables. He was on reel to reel, doing it with reel to reel, cutting and splicing. He was making stuff on reel to reel. I said, okay, this is different. Then he got on the turntables. He didn't have the 1200s just yet. He had just some regular turntables. He was trying to get himself together. He had regular turntables with the pitch control on them. Nothing fancy, no 1200s yet, no Tech 12s. So I said, okay. He said, man, I play at the music box on Fridays and Saturdays. How old are you guys? I'm like, we're not old enough to get in there yet. We're not old enough. He said, well, don't worry about it. You guys come down there with me. Okay. So we went down there. Mr. Williams was like, I met Mr. Williams, Ron Williams, and he said, Ron, this is your family. This is your people. I said, yeah, we bringing in equipment. He said, these are high school boys. Yes, we are. We are high school. You had to be 25 and up to get into the music box. 25 and up. So we were instructed to stay up in the DJ booth. We could not venture down onto the floor because it was drinking and stuff going on. And if something happened, he would get his license
Right.
taken and get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we still had a good time. We still had a good time. So that's when I first got exposed to disco. I was like, wow, man, this is where it's at. This disco, and I saw him playing on his vinyl.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, okay, doing this thing on vinyl. And I was saying to myself, man, he got this song. The pitch is going too fast. But that's what Ron did. That's
Yes.
what he did. Had it going. I'm like, this is not how this song's supposed to go. But people were going crazy.
Yeah, I
Ron
read
didn't.
read that he liked to really create a lot of tension and then
Right.
release it. He would play records fast and he'd play loud too. They say he loved
Loud.
loud. You
Loud.
see, you could hear the bass coming out of the music box.
Right.
It rumbled through the whole building and out down the street. But he loved that.
Yeah. People just don't realize that it was 326 North Michigan Avenue. That is downtown Chicago. That is
Hmm.
downtown Michigan Avenue, business people, suits and tie, Chicago. If you go down there now, you wouldn't. The building is still there. The building is still there. Um, yeah, man, good times in that place. Good times in that place, man. Good times. Um, I got my name. People don't realize I got my name before I got to Mendel High School from Ron. He used to call me Disco. So that carried on to going into Mendel High School. They go disco. They go disco. I come in there, man, and you remember Derek, at it was $5 to get in.
Hmm.
$5 to get in. That was the most sacred $5 I ever had in my life. I made sure I had that money to get in because I didn't have a car yet. So we caught the
Hmm.
93rd Street bus up to 95th Street and got on the 34.
Oh
Got
yeah,
off at 111th and walked
that's the
down.
Michigan, right?
Yeah,
34 was the
34
Michigan.
Michigan bus. Yeah.
Hmm.
And get the transfer and get on that, man, and go in. And I, I'm I'm pulling up. I'm walking down the little drive because it was like
The
a
curve.
half circle drive,
Yeah,
whatever it
half
was. We were
circle.
walking up
Hmm.
there, and I was dancing before I even got in there. Man, I was dancing in line, dancing. I think I was tired before I got in there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you
Yeah,
couldn't help it. You
you
couldn't
couldn't
wait to
help it,
get in
man.
and cut loose.
You couldn't help it.
Indeed,
You couldn't help
indeed.
it. It was $5 to get in. The place was packed every Saturday, even in the summertime. It was packed. Even in the heat of summer, it might not have been as packed as it would be during the winter, but in the summer it was still packed.
And that was inside and out. I mean, I remember in the wintertime, it would be Christmas and people would be standing outside and it'd be 10 degrees. I'm like,
Yep, trying to get in.
it's trying, trying to
Trying to
get
get in
in.
there, man. I remember them days. My mother would drop us off, and I was like, "Man, it's cold, but we here." We got there fashionably late, as I normally do. We didn't get there at 8. We always thought the squares got there at 8. We got there like at 9:30. 9:30 when the music get going, we roll on in so we can make our little. We have on our caramel jackets and stuff when we pop in sometime.
Yeah,
But,
I never had any problems. Never had any
no, oh
problems.
no, oh
All
no,
bros, all bros. Now, as
uh,
we leave this conversation about Ron, what would you like to see? As we think about, if we think about Frankie Knuckles, we got Frankie Knuckles Day. We got, we pay homage and recognize. What would you like to see for Ron?
we need to have Ron Hardy. I mean, he had a little party, but we need to have Ron
Hmm.
Hardy Day for his birthday and everything, just like they do for Prince and everything. For they do Frankie Knuckles here in Chicago, they need to have a Ron Hardy Day.
Yeah.
They really need to do because he started everything. Everybody says like it was a post in your IG said that Farley Keith was the godfather of house music. Man, I almost died. Almost, I could not respond fast enough. I told that man, "Are you serious? Are you serious?" But Farley Keith, Farley can't even hold. But no, don't get me
Don't
wrong.
start.
Farley almost said something. Farley is good. Almost said, but Farley's good. He's not a Frankie Knuckles. He's definitely not a Ron Hardy. Definitely not a Ron Hardy.
Yeah, and I don't think you can take anything away from anyone, but you can't put people in the same conversation
No,
because
no.
all of them brought something different. And to
Hmm.
your point, I agree with you. I mean,
Hmm.
I stress take nothing away from Frankie Knuckles. Hey, welcome on in, Miss K Love, Tech Rum, and the Candy Lady. We see you. Thanks for vibing out with us. House Culture Conversation, the return of disco.
Right.
But you think about Ron. Ron would play all kinds of things together, and he played a lot of edits, and he also
Yes.
played a lot of the new up and coming tracks that were coming off the streets.
Yep.
So acid tracks, as
Yeah.
I understand it, he played it one night. Everybody left the dance floor, and he played it 3 more times. By the
Hmm.
fourth time, they was on the floor and they losing their minds.
Right.
And
Right.
that's how committed he was to the music. If he played something, he got behind it. And I give him a lot of credit for that.
Right. He did. Ron played everything. Everything. He even plays. Well, they call it soft rock now. He
Hmm.
plays some soft rock. He played. I'm
Yeah.
like, he played some stuff. I like, man, that's okay. I'm trying to think of this song he did play. Some Eagles or something. I can't remember what song it was. I was like, man, this is banging. He made it. He
Yeah.
made it good. You know,
Absolutely. He made
and
he
Ron,
would make things you would never think work. He
right?
made it work. And it if you were back from the day, and I think you said this last time, before we had house tracks, we had things like disco, we
Mm-hmm.
had Euro kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you, I went to a Mendel party, they played the B-52's Rock Lobster, and I was
Yeah,
like, how'd they get away with that?
and they and guess what? We were dancing. We were out
Oh,
there
we're
dancing,
losing our minds.
losing our mind with our B-52's Rock Lobster. We sure was. We sure was. Ron didn't, and another thing too, they lied that Ron people don't. Everybody thought Ron was a good DJ. Ron didn't mix stuff. Ron just slammed it in.
Mm.
He just slam. He
Take
didn't
that.
care.
Take that.
He didn't care. He didn't care. He just slammed it. That was his thing. Turn the pitch up high and slam it in. and I think that's what drove the crowd crazy.
Mm-hmm.
When I got old enough to actually go down on the floor, it's coming from college. I was actually old enough. Um, I remember coming from Mendel parties or coming from the Sawyers and going to because the box stayed open till 5 in the morning. People don't know box stayed open till 5 or 6 in the
That's
morning.
it. Yeah.
When the Sawyers were closed at 2, everybody would go to the music box. So as I got older, I used to bring a change of clothes. Me and my boy Big Fud, we used to bring a change of clothes because we'd be raggedy in there, and we come out of the music box ragging a soup sandwich. I'm gonna tell you what a soup sandwich is. You get you 2 pieces of bread and pour some soup in between of it on it. That's how raggedy we were coming out of that. We was raggedy. We were raggedy than a soup sandwich. I mean, we were beat down. Then we would go home on Friday night, get up, go to work, and go back and do it again on Saturday night. The same
Back to
exact thing,
back. That couldn't
back
get
to back.
enough. Couldn't
Right.
get enough, and
Couldn't
that's
get enough.
what it was back then. Now, interestingly enough, we talked last time, and I wanted to revisit, just Chicago, and we talked a little bit about the fact that the house culture, the scene, what was going on.
Hmm.
For a lot of us in high school, we were around places that we weren't old enough to get in, but quite
Right.
honestly, that music kept us out of a lot of harm's way.
Exactly. Um, if you notice between 10 and 3, we were at home listening to BMX. We weren't out in the street. If you weren't old enough to go anywhere, you were on a porch. I had a I worked at McDonald's all through high school. I saved up money and bought a JBC big handle 12D battery radio with the handles on the side. I had a big radio sitting out front. And me and my buddies and ladies, we were all on the front porch from 10 to 3 during the summer because we weren't old enough to go anywhere yet. So although I had a car, I still couldn't go nowhere yet. I wasn't old enough to get into some of these places. So we listened to BMX from 10 to 3 in the morning. Then
And
everybody would go home.
that was common around the Chicago area for a lot of us that were in that high school age.
Right,
We would be
right.
out on the porch, we'd be
Hmm.
playing, BMX, the
Hmm.
mixes at night, and
Right.
we wouldn't be running around the streets. And that
No,
made a significant
it
difference
did.
for us because there was so much going on in the streets of Chicago, the crime, the drugs, and everything else that was going on. So many of the our peers in other places and spaces found trouble.
Right. Right. We didn't, man. Them other guys who were in the gangs and all that stuff, they liked the house music as well, but they weren't into it like we were. They were
Mhm.
still into the rap. And I got nothing against rap. I like old school rap, but my thing was the house music. Um, it kept us out of trouble. I remember my oldest cousin took me down to Rush Street. Never had never been on Rush Street. Never been on Rush. And D-Lot, if you remember, y- if you go down to Rush Street from 10 to 3 on a Friday or Saturday night, that's all you heard. You can walk around on
Yeah,
Rush. You didn't hear nothing but BMX. You didn't need no radio. You can walk and hear it. You go around Rush Street. Your night was driving around Rush Street 4 times. That was your night because it was so jam packed on Rush Street.
yeah,
Driving, you would go around 4 times. On that fourth time, it was time to go home because it was almost 3 o'clock. That's how packed Rush Street used to be back in the 80s. People
absolutely.
coming
And
from all over to go to Rush.
you would go to Rush, you might not get out your car. You might just drive around.
That's what we did. We
Just
put gas
drive
in my little
around.
car and drove around. Like I said, we never went around. We went around 4 times. That was our night because it was so packed down there. I mean, girls out, yeah, my homies out. I mean, everybody was down there. Nobody gang banging. Everybody was listening to house. Everybody had on BMX downtown. You didn't even need a radio. You could get out your car and just walk. You can hear
Yeah,
it everywhere. It was in the cars. People had their radios with them. It was in the pizzerias or where Uno's had it playing. Some places had their Unos. Remember Unos? Yeah,
Oh yeah.
and they had the windows open. You can hear BMX playing. So man, that was we go get some ice cream. We go get a slice of pizza and go walk around, talk to some girls. That was our night. We go jump back in the car, make a couple of passes around, um, um, let the girl see you in your car. Come on, it was all fun, man. We had so much fun.
Yeah.
It's totally different out
I'll
here now.
note I didn't let them see me in my car. By the way, I would park my car over here and get out and walk around.
No, well, dear, like you had, man. I know you had a nice car, man. I had a
No.
1975 Buick Opal Manor GT. You guys Google that thing.
Yeah.
1975
You know
Buick
what I
Opal
did? I
Manor.
said you had the one with the stripe.
I had a black one, and I mean, mine was yellow with the black stripe up the middle,
Yes.
and
Uh huh.
it had the crank sunroof. I had the guy, actually the gentleman who I bought it from used to come in McDonald's all the time, and I saved up my money. I saved up $700 and bought it from him. I bought the car. I wasn't supposed to have the car because I was 16. I was not supposed to have that car. I parked that car 2 blocks down and 1 block over, so my parents wouldn't see this car because I was not supposed to have this car. So I wanted to drive. So I needed some wheels. So I got the car D lot. I don't know if you remember Ventures and
Oh
Turnstile.
yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. My dad used to work security up at Turnstile on 87th Street, get off work and work part-time up at Ventures. I talked about this on my show Tuesday. I brought a sound system from Ventures, didn't know no better. 19, I mean, 99, 95, Sparkomatic.
Sparkomatic.
Sparkomatic had the knobs, came with the radio. The 200-watt EQ was not 200-watt EQ. It came with the 6.5-inch door speakers and the 6x9s. We put that stuff in that car, D Lot. It sounded good inside the car, but it sounded like outside of the car you was cooking eggs. Man, we didn't care, man. We just wanted to play, listen to the music, man.
That's
Listen to that
it.
music, man. That was it. That was good times, man. I miss those days. Kids don't have fun like we had.
No, it definitely is a different experience today where, I think about as a teenager being in the big city of Chicago, I think
Mhm.
I thoroughly went through the city, whether it was west side, north side,
Yeah,
all over the city,
yeah.
and had no problem. I lived on the south side, but I had no
Mhm.
problem going way up north, going on
Right.
the west side, east. It just didn't, got all over the city, and I
Right.
didn't think much of it till I met people later that during high school they stayed right in their general vicinity.
Yeah. Yeah. We
But
went
we
wherever the
house
parties were.
music took us everywhere.
Right. We went where the parties were. Who was going to party downtown, Evanston, out west, over east, south side, whoever. No, we went, but we mainly stayed south, of course. But if somebody was having something, we would go.
Yeah,
We would
yeah,
go to the point.
yeah,
The
absolutely. And
point.
I didn't think anything of it. And
Right.
it really, now that I think about it, I was in eighth grade, not even in high
Yeah.
school yet. I'd jump on a bus and go Lincoln Park.
Right.
Didn't
Right.
think any all
Right.
the way from the south side up there, do whatever, hang out, and
Right.
I found that to be, one of the things that was different about our experience. We went where the music took us. We took went
Right.
where the vibes were, and
Right.
we were very free about that. And I think that's something that's very interesting because Chicago is a dangerous place, still is in a lot of ways, and the music kept us, quite frankly.
Yeah, I mean, people, it's the media, D lot that they Chicago's dangerous, dangerous. No, I have no. Although we're in a different age bracket, we don't get involved with the kids. That's something different.
Yeah,
I'm not scared to go nowhere in the city. Never was,
yeah.
never was. I remember I used to jump. I jumped on that number 6 bus, number 6 Jeffrey
The
Express,
Jeffrey.
the Jeffrey number 6 Jeffrey Express. When I didn't have a car to go down to the point. Me and my buddy, we
Hmm.
jump on the bus, get off at 53rd with our radio, with our cut off blue jean shorts and our Nike shirts and our Nike gym shoes, and meet everybody at the point on a Sunday afternoon.
That's it.
And that it was packed at the point. I mean,
Absolutely.
packed. When I mean, it seemed like everybody at Mendel was at the point.
Oh, right.
Everybody from Mendel was at the point.
The community traveled. It
Right.
was the community. They'd be at Mendel, they'd be at the Point, they'd be
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
Sowers,
Kenwood
they'd
High
be
School right there.
Kenwood.
Kenwood girls.
Absolutely. Midas
Kenwood
Retouch.
girls.
Midas Retouch knows what we're talking about. Chill Hill
Yeah, man.
1342. Welcome on in.
That's my
Is the
mod right
Candy
there.
Lady was at the Point. Oh yeah, 28 Stony. That's it. Got
28
him to high
Stony,
school.
man. Shoot.
That's
Get off
it.
right there at 53rd D lot and go to McDonald's right there before they tore it down right by the YMCA. Then
Oh
get
yeah,
something to eat and walk to the point. Walk to the point,
absolutely.
man. And that was on a Sunday afternoon, and we'd be out there all day. It'd be man, we have a ball. We might get a ride home, we might not. All depends on who we saw. We might get a ride home. Seemed like the girls always had the car. The girls had the car. Their mom and daddy trusted them with the car. My daddy told me, "You are not driving my car." Although I did, I drove my dad's car to prom, but I had to get my own car. So once I got my car, man, we could get around. But the girls always had their mom's car, a dad's car.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
could
know what it
always get the
was with
car.
that.
They could get the car.
I don't know why
That's
they could
it.
get the car. Man, I don't know why the girls could get the car. I asked my dad for his car, like, boy, you better get out of here and get on that bus. So,
Peace to the room, Letha 5555. We see you. Double nickel. Happy Saturday. Hanging out with Disco Darrin. House Culture Conversation. It's the return of disco. We talked back in March, but left so much on the table and
yeah,
wanted to finish that conversation.
yeah,
And what we talked about last time, we started delving into your show a little bit, but I
right.
don't feel we did it justice. If you're not familiar with the critically acclaimed, and by the way, let me go ahead and bring it out. If you're not familiar with the critically acclaimed Coffee with Disco, you
Coffee
must
with disco.
familiarize yourself. I am having, this isn't coffee, it's a green tea latte, but let's call it coffee. I'm
That's
having
that
my
Florida
coffee for
coffee.
the rest.
That's that
I'm
Florida
having
coffee.
my coffee with Disco for the rest of this conversation. You
Right.
told us a little bit about what inspired you for the show, but I want you to refamiliarize you. How did you get started with the show? Then I want to jump into some questions
Okay.
about some of the topics and some of the things
Right.
that you're starting to delve into and why
Right.
it's so important for the culture. Because I
Right.
think what house music taught us is about freedom. And
Right.
I think as we've grown older, how do we continue to protect those freedoms that we fought so hard, right, as teenagers to just party out? Now
Right.
we fight for the right to live it out, right?
Right.
So tell us, give us the backdrop on the story, how of how it came to be, and then I want to ask you some more questions.
Okay. How we finally I got on Twitch, it was during the pandemic. I have been on Twitch for, just going around and meeting people. Actually, DJ Alicia, who's a very DJ Alicia's here in Chicago. DJ Alicia's she's great. She's good. And I met her out. She said, Darren, well, I've been knowing DJ Alicia for years. We used to skate. We still skate together.
DJ
Uh
Alicia didn't tell us she skates.
yes, she
Uh-oh.
does. She skates. Yes, she does.
Uh-huh.
She's a JB skater like me. So that's where we first met back in high school. I used to date a friend of hers. So we reconnected. We were out somewhere during the past. She said, I DJ on Twitch. I'm like, Twitch? She said, yeah, just download. So I downloaded Twitch. So I was only on Twitch on Saturday nights in her show.
Mm.
All her show came on at 7. We didn't leave out there till 3 in the morning. Cracking jokes, having a good time. I mean, just talking crazy and just having a ball. So as it progressed, then I started venturing off into other shows. You know, I got my original disco squad. Actually, my original disco squad is myself, DJ Matt Ronan, the Jersey Diva, which she might pop in here, and my boy TCB05. We are the original disco squad from on Twitch. We are the original squad members. So we were sitting down talking. They said, Darren, no, you should do a show. You should DJ or have a talk show. I said, I think I might do a talk show. I might. So we messed around with it. And it was about a year later in 2021. I got off. I was scared. I got off work. It was on a Friday. I was going to go get a haircut down in Hyde Park. I said, I'm going to go live. And Vince Adams, I've been knowing Vince for a while. Vince Adams was like, when you going to go live? I told him, I don't know, Vince. I don't know. So I had 497 followers already before I even went live. So I hit the live button in the car, driving from Ford down to get my haircut. And it was hilarious. Everybody told me because I had serious road rage driving down the Bishop. D-Lot, I don't know what it is about this Bishop Ford. I don't know. I don't care what time of day it is. Something always happening on 94, the Bishop Ford. I don't know what it is, but I got off work at 5 o'clock. Had to be at the barbershop by 6. Everybody want to get off when I'll get off and go the same way I'm going, and I just had a conniptions. I forgot I was live. I forgot.
Keep talking.
Cussing,
I'll be right back.
swearing. Okay. I mean, just cussing and swearing, you guys. I was driving, I was having a freaking heart attack because people were doing 2 miles an hour. And hey, man, I got to go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And I was live. And I had 37 people in my room for that whole hour and a half. 37 people for that whole hour driving down an hour and a half me driving. So that was my first live. And I did it from my cell phone. Now, how my show took off was that following week was my birthday week. I had been promoting my birthday for the past, which is on March 12th. I have been promoting my birthday for the past 4 months on Twitch, sending people invites. Because at the time I didn't have my own studio set up yet. So we went live on Avon 1208's channel. We went live for my birthday. We had Jerome. Man, I had 5 DJs come in for my birthday. And nobody had never seen me. Some people had never seen me before. So I had G Whip. I had Alicia Kane. Man, it started at 12 and it was over at 5 on that Saturday. In Avon 1208's room, he had 465 people in that room that day. 465 people in that room that day. And everybody finally saw me. They go disco. Right. I was partying. I was having a good time. I was jamming and doing. I got little tables a little bit. And the show took off after that. I give credit to Sharice Coleman Love 28, which is one of my mods. She came up with she okayed it, Coffee with Disco. Coffee with Disco. So I said, what time of day would I do this show? I'm going to do it on a Tuesday morning. I first started my show at 10:30, right upstairs in my kitchen with my cell phone and my radio, sitting with my speaker sitting by my phone. That's how I started the show, in my kitchen. That's how I started this show, in my kitchen, playing some music, playing some disco that I had already on my phone. That's how this show started.
The original DJ, J.U. Ice, what's happening? Welcome on in. Hey, I'm having coffee with Disco, and we're talking about his acclaimed show and how he got started. So that's how you got started.
Right,
But you have been running the show for a couple of years and
right.
recently were nominated for Best Talk Show on Twitch.
Yes, nominated for 2 years straight. 2 years straight, nominated for best talk show and variety show. 2 years straight. Um, a lot of people don't know is I didn't have my studio set up yet, so I was doing it in my kitchen. Then all of a sudden one day, Jerome popped in my room. Jerome O popped in. Me and Jerome been cool, and he said, "Man, every superhero needs some theme music." He said, "Darrin, call me." I said, okay. So we talked, and the next week I was at Jerome's studio. I had my own logo. He had got me a logo. I had a DJ. I mean, Jerome was right next to me. Jerome was right there. And Jerome was playing music while I was doing the show for 1 hour. My show used to be from 10:30 to 11:30 every Tuesday morning, 10:30 to 11:30. Once I got it going, 10:30 to 11:30. Then it just blew up from there. It just blew up from there. Jerome's work schedule changed. I said, you know what? I got to get my studio set up. So I had to bite the bullet and get the most valuable piece of equipment that I had to have was this MacBook, so I can stream and get everything set up. I started getting my logos, start getting different stuff from my shout out to DJ Tila. She did my rotating coffee logo that you see when I first come on Tuesday mornings.
Oh
She
yeah.
did that. You know, I got a couple other people that do my uh um man. Oof. Just see, look, see, Chill Hill, my mom, she's got a video of me dancing on Avon's set when she got a video. I'm gonna ask her to send me that video so I can play it on my show, man. That was man, we had a ball. We had a ball. So ever since then, man, the show just once I actually got the studio and I can actually hook everything up and play my music so it won't sound like it's coming through the speaker, that's when the show took off. I used to get topics from just going into Walmart and going to different places, just talk about different stuff and comedy and everything. And then I had the idea of people drawing numbers to submit their topics. That's when the show really took off. I mean, people send stuff in every week. We do the drawings. People send the stuff in every week, and we have serious conversation. I may joke and kid on different segments, but a lot of stuff that I talk about is very serious. So what's going
Right.
on around us?
I don't want you to gloss over this because that's what actually, drew me in.
Hmm.
Because you hear coffee with disco, and I know a little bit about your background and so forth. I just thought, oh, I'm going to tune in and be a light show, so forth and
Hmm.
so on. But when I started hearing some of the topics being
Right.
talked about, I was
Hmm.
like, this is important. These are
Yeah.
important conversations, and so I want you to talk about some of the things, some of the topics that you guys hit, whether definitely relationship
Right.
wise and so forth.
We do relationship stuff. We don't. Four things we don't talk about, De. We don't talk about race. We don't talk about religion. We don't talk about politics, and we do not discuss LGBTQ plus topics. We do not discuss. So those are hot topics. People have difference of opinion. My opinion is different from yours in for whatever it is. It's different. I could say something how I view something, and I could either bring more people in or lose my entire chat room. Or you know, it's a lot of relationship stuff. A lot of people are going through stuff. People are going through stuff. So um relationship wise, just being out in the world. Um I put my own spin on things. I give the chat room a chance to reply and give their opinion to what's
Hmm.
going on. Give their opinion on what's going on to this person. Um, then I have,
So
of course,
So
I have
I want to check it because I want to hit a couple of examples that
right.
I've tuned in to hear. So you could
Okay.
just because when people say, "Hey, our show doesn't touch on race, religion, politics, nor LGBTQ plus," well, what is there to talk about? Right? It's like
Right. It's a
that's
bunch of
pretty
other
much
stuff to
everything.
talk about.
So, for example, who should be responsible for the bills in the house? The
Right. That's a
man
big
or the
topic.
woman?
That's
And so
it.
you'd be surprised what people think. Or the woman feels the man should pay all the bills and pay for everything, and she should be able to, do whatever she
Keep
wants
her
with her
money.
own money, keep her money.
That's a that's a hot topic. I mean, and I pay all the major bills. A man supposed, since I am the breadwinner in the household, why would I go 50-50? That makes no sense. So um I pay mortgage, light, gas, water, internet, cable. All I need for her to do is buy groceries. That's it. I mean, it's just that simple. It can't be it can't be it can't be any easier than that. But some women believe that the man should pay all the bills, including her bills,
Yeah.
her car note, her cell phone, her credit card bills. And to me, that's a no-no. I know I get a little flack on it. No, I don't pay car note, I don't pay credit card bill, and I don't pay cell phone bill. Those are your bills. That's not something that you use. I don't use your car. I don't use your cell phone. I don't use your credit cards. Those are your bills. You pay those. You make sure you have money to pay those because Darren's not going to pay them. So you have to use them accordingly. So, um, a lot of people said that if the man is dating someone and the man lives in a house and the woman lives in a house, the man's supposed to help the woman pay bills in her house too. And that is I'm like, are you out of your mind? You know how much flag people, it's one person. I love her so much. I love her so much. I'm not gonna say her name here, but she suggests that for the wedding, the man should pay everything. She's not paying it for anything. And I just say, you know what, you must don't want to get married. You're not gonna get married. You can't. There's no way possible that you're gonna let your husband everything pay for everything in your wedding, and you're not gonna do nothing. She says she's not gonna pay for dinner. She's not gonna pay for nothing. I'm like, you are gonna be single your entire life. I
DJ
said, man,
Tron Blaze, Dreammaker Diva, welcome on in. Thank you for vibing with us. We're starting to get hearts in the chat. You're giving them revved up. But again, this is just one topic that
right,
I tuned in, and it got really involved in that
right,
conversation.
right,
But Disco also talks about the responsibility of a man, and men have to show up better. Talk a little bit
right.
about that.
You know why, D-Lock? Because I had to learn that. I had to learn how to show up better because everybody knows I go to therapy to better myself and better my uh, relationships and everything. You have to um, shout out to my man Glenn, who is my is a three parts of my therapy that I go to. Glenn told me, he said, Darren, you know what? You are a man physically standing here. You're a man physically standing here. Yes, you are. You are a male physically standing here. But from what you told me, you lack in areas that a man's supposed to take care of. You know, you have to appreciate the woman. Um, you don't have to worship every the ground she walks on, but you show her that you appreciate her. Don't take her for granted. Um, the things that you're supposed to handle it as a man. Things you're supposed to handle. That's some of the things that I didn't know. That I didn't know. And and I'm just learning these things. Um, Glenn, who is my a therapist, he also told me that now he's been divorced. This is his second marriage, and he was saying that what he does for his wife, he gives her a monthly stipend. He pours into her. See, that's something that I didn't do, that I'm doing now. Is pouring into. He gives her between $100 and $300 a month. Just say, here you go, take the money, do what you want to do with it. Some women, um, from what I'm understanding, don't like to ask their husbands or significant others for money. They don't want to ask. They seem like it's begging, but I like for mine. Ask me if you need money. Ask, but I'm supposed to see this. So, monetary every month. Every month she can do what she likes, nails, hair, whatever you want to do with it. Doesn't matter. Um, just as a man's supposed to show up. Chivalry is not dead. I found that chivalry is not dead. As much as you see it like it's dying out here on the streets with these younger people, the younger people is not dead. Women like to have their car door opened up. Um, Women like to have the doors open for them. Believe it or not, they still do. The women like to have the chairs pulled out for them. Women like that stuff. Women like that stuff. They really do.
And if you are listening to House Culture Conversations, you're not in the wrong place. We are hanging out with Disco Darrin. It's the return of Disco, and we're talking about his critically acclaimed show, Coffee with Disco. And so, Coffee with Disco. When I tuned in and I listened to it, and to the point you mentioned that you go to therapy, and for
Hmm.
everybody listening here, if you don't take anything away from what you heard here tonight, there is nothing to be ashamed
Nothing
of
wrong with
by
therapy.
getting some therapy.
Nothing
We
wrong.
talk about music. It is a form of therapy and release. Also, get your
Mhm.
mind right. But I just wanted to, really talk about the show a little bit because I'm very proud of you coming from our time.
Right.
When we're from where we grew up and looking how you're spending your time, educating people, having tough conversations, allowing people to air things out. And you do it in a way where you kind of control the chaos sometimes because some of these
Yeah,
things get off the rails.
man. And sometimes I take them off the rails. I call it my make it funk. I tell everybody drop the make it funky emote. I take it. That's what I'm gonna take it off the rail. I do it on purpose. I do it just to get see if Chill here. Carmen, you got my make it funky emote. Drop it in the chat room if you got it, Carmen. Um, that's when I'm gonna add my own spin to it. And I have people thinking about stuff. I make them think. I make them really think. I make them really, really, really think. Like I said, like you said, there's nothing wrong with therapy. My dad is from the era where we don't we don't go to therapy. We handle stuff in house. We don't do
Mhm,
therapy, and I believe that. I believe that until I've started going to therapy, and therapy has helped me. It might have helped my dad. My dad passed in '05. It might have helped my dad in his marriage to my mom. It might have helped him, but my dad did not believe that. He said we don't talk to people about our problem. We handle our problems in house.
mhm.
And for people that don't know, my dad was a 8-year veteran of the United States Marine Corps. My dad was a 30-year veteran of the Chicago Police Department. We handle stuff in house. So we did not go to therapy, none of that. So I just started going to therapy here about regularly about a year and a half ago, but I've been going for 5 years, just going sparingly. You know, as black men, we carry a lot. We need to talk. Black women need to go and talk to as well. They need to sit down and talk. As black men, we need to talk. We need to talk. We need to sit down and we need to discuss what's going on. Because black men, we carry a lot of burden.
Mhm.
We carry a lot of burden. Yeah, you know, if we're um, not doing what we are supposed to do in the household, we're deemed a no good man. Get rid of him, throw him out in the street. Then
Yeah.
if he's doing too much, he's boasting, he's bragging, he's showing off. We can't win. We cannot win as black men, and it seems that we cannot win with black women. I really hate to say that, but I love my black women. I do. I really do. Sometimes we can't win. I saw a post on TikTok where The lady went out with this man. He did everything right, everything right, and she said she would not see him no more. And she said, "You want to know why?" He said, "Because he had on the wrong kind of shoes. His shoe game." I said,
I thought you was
"Wha-
gonna say he
wha-
didn't listen to house music. I had to let
nuh-uh,
him go.
uh-uh." She said, "He said you look at a man's shoes, it'll tell you exactly how he." I'm like, "Wow." She cut the man off uh two um after 2 dates for his shoes. He wore 2 dates in a row some jacked up shoes. And she said that I really like this guy, but his shoes. I'm like, are you kidding me? You kicking a man to the curb for shoes?
I can be shallow like that at times.
Oh man. That's
You
why I
know
keep
how
my
we
shoe
was
game in
back in the
tight.
day when we went to a party. We had to have on Azad. You had to have on K Swiss.
Hey,
You had to have
Swiss.
on. You know, I'm just saying how the house culture put that in me. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right. And it's just really bad that a lot of our black sisters are like that. Some of them are like that. Some of them are very shallow like that.
Well, hey, I will tell you. Listen to Coffee with Disco because you will have the opportunity to express your view. He is very open to hearing all sides of an issue Tuesdays from 11:30 to 1:30 or 2.
Sometimes we start, I normally go live at 11:15 just to get everybody in the room. I go on
Mhm.
camera from 11:30 to 2. I try to get out there by 2 o'clock. So it's from 11:30 Central Standard Time, 12:30 Eastern Standard Time till 1:30 Central Standard. I mean 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern.
Another part of your show that I found fascinating was at the end, you'll show some clips of
Yeah.
some injustices
Yeah.
that have been caught on the news or in media, and shocking what's happening in our country today.
Yeah, I mean, I just and people say, "Well, Darren, why don't you find something that happens to against white Americans?" I said, "I can't find nothing because you all doing those things against us, it seems like." And I'm not trying to be racist or anything, but everything, especially ever since Trump got in office, and we're not going to get political, but it seemed like stuff just went haywire. You know, they really, they really want to take us back to Jim Crow days. That's really what they want to do. They want to go back to Jim Crow, and I'm going to say they really want to go back to the Jim Crow days. And it's not going to do that. I bet you a lot of people did not know, and I'm not going to talk no more politics after this, that every 50 years, every 50 years, a president has to sign the right for us to vote every 50 years. He has to sign it. And people did not know that. It has to be signed into law every 50 years. Trump did it when he was off, and he signed the bill so black Americans can vote. That's crazy. That's insane. When I heard, I said, "You got to be kidding me!" And my boy, we looked it up. That every 50 years, it has to be signed in to law that black Americans can vote. That's
There you,
amazing in 2024.
there you go, people. Check out Coffee with Disco. You will not be disappointed. He is doing research. He is checking things out. And like I said, I just love what you're doing. I
Thank
like
you, sir.
that we are coming from, the culture of house music that was built on freedom of expression tied
Right,
to music. But as we have become older adults, there are other things we are fighting for our freedoms in as well. And so I appreciate it. To me, that is house culture. It is not just about the music, it is not
right.
just about fashion, it is not just about food. It's about what's going on in our nation, what's going on
Well,
locally, regionally, worldwide. So I appreciate you to 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 the ends of the earth. I appreciate you so much for what you're doing. Very proud of you, and
Thank you,
thank you
sir.
for coming back and talking more about everything house. We talked about Ron Hardy, talked about Chicago, and we've talked about this amazing show that you have. Hey, leave us with something.
I'm gonna leave you guys with something. I saw this the other day, and it's made me smile. I was at the restaurant. Young black man was in the car. His girl got out. The young black man stood outside of his car until his girlfriend came back out, opened the door for her, and opened the door and let her get in the car, closed the door, and went and got in his door. I was like, wow, the young brother, he knows. He knows. So he was getting gas. I said, man, I'm proud of you, brother. He said, what I do? I said, don't worry about it. I told him, don't worry about it, but I'm proud of you. He did. He said, okay. He was like, yeah, okay. But he don't know I saw him open the door for his girl at the store. He got out. He waited for her when she came to the car. He opened the door for her. I was like, man, this young man knows somebody taught this young man right. Somebody is teaching this young man correctly. And I hope he carries it on
Okay.
through his life.
Hopefully he doesn't lose
I
that.
hopefully he doesn't.
Yes, yeah. Hey, DJ Tron Blaze, I see you. Make sure you hit me up. You have sparked DJ Tron Blaze. He got some things he want to get off
Try and
his chest.
blaze, man.
A great DJ, but sound like he has something to say. We gotta get you on House Culture Conversations. You
Real
probably
quick, D Lot, before we
yeah,
go, brother.
absolutely.
Real quick. Real quick, I'm gonna say this. In about 2 weeks, I'm gonna have a show. Um, the Brothers of Twitch Speak. It's gonna be on a Tuesday night.
All
It's
right.
gonna be like a disco after dark, but it's gonna be on a Tuesday night. It's gonna be the Brothers of Twitch Speak. I'm gonna have myself plus four of my partners who I know and who are dealing with dating. One's divorced, one's married, one is single, not married. I'm having, and they want to just talk about dating in this day and age. So we're gonna get into that. I'll put a flyer up on IG. I'm on IG and Facebook. If you guys want to follow it. I'm going to do that show in about maybe another 2 weeks. That's going to be big because a lot of brothers, we want to talk about that. We really want to chat about that. So I'm going to do that show in about 2 weeks.
All right.
So I have a flyer and stuff up.
We will be on the lookout. Everybody, we are going to, you said something earlier. I think I may be able to get us there. DJ Tila is on. So I'm going to
Yeah.
go ahead and raid her and we're going
Yep.
to go
Let's get some
party
tea.
with her. Thank you guys for vibing with us on House Culture Conversation, the return of disco. I still think Mendel got y'all.
Yeah. You know what, man? It's just so much stuff that I got. It's a bunch of stuff, man. We're not gonna do everything. We cannot do everything. We be on to 12 midnight.
All right, you guys, I got you queued up to go party with DJ Tila. When
Right.
you get there, let her know that it was the return of disco that brought you through on the rave. House Culture Conversations. Everybody else, we will catch you next time. Big love.
Big love. Peace, y'all. Thank you.
I gotta wait for the signal because if I end on the app, then we won't raid. We are raiding now. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, everybody. There they go. Hey, appreciate you so much.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah. Yeah, the
Yes,
raid is
yes.
gone.
We'll see you next time, bro. Talk
All
to you
right,
soon.
brother.
Peace.
I'll see you Tuesday. Later,
You
brother.
got it.
Yep.